Hey guys, this video is full of incredible stuff, incredible tennis played by incredible players across the net from me, simply incroyable. I've got highlights from 3 matches I played in the past month. Usually I try to post videos as match highlights, so 1 match, 1 video, but I have to put that off for 3 weeks. Not because I'm lazy or I couldn't find an angle to talk about these matches individually. It's because these 3 matches work together as a whole. By putting these match highlights together as some sort of triptych video, I was able to detect this common pattern in them that maybe could help me develop my tennis game further. So my point is, by not doing anything for a long time, and only cram to produce a video when people ask you about certain matches in a group chat, I was able to achieve Gestalt. I create something that's bigger as a whole than the individual pieces. It's an incredible way of working and it's not stressful at all. So, what's the common pattern? I realize everyone who's good or who's beating me has a good defensive game, and I am no good at dealing with it. If you hit high net clearance deep balls with not a lot of pace, or if you have a good slice that's sending it deep and has good placement, I don't know what to do. I can't do much with the deep shots, and in my mind I fancy myself as this aggressive baseliner or all-court player, or at least I'm aspire to become one. I understand the overall tennis meta is defense over offense from the moment you decide to play matches until becoming Djokovic. So much of the tennis game is about eliminating your unforced errors, absorbing pace, put one more ball back, force your opponent to play another shot. But also, it's really fun to hit a brain dead big shot near the lines without thinking the percentages. Why do we play tennis anyway if it's not cathartic? A guy I played with told me that he's not good with no pace balls, you need a little bit of pace, and then I was like, haha, you can't generate your own pace. Little did I know, I'm the same. I just haven't run into the people with really solid defense before. So in my mind, I'm trying to play this 70-30 games where I'm defending maybe 70% of the time and attacking 30% of the time. I don't have a consistent serve. Like, you point a gun to my head and ask me to serve 10 serve out of 10 into the service box. I just can't do it. I can't do it even with the underarm serves. And I can't really hit a 100-shot rally even if you incentivize me with 10k Japanese yen for every 100 shot I hit. So recently I feel like I'm at a disadvantage when I'm playing a more defensive player, at least in terms of patience and consistency. I know I'm going to make a mistake earlier than they do, and I know my normal game is not big or offensive enough in any meaningful ways to trouble them. So whenever I'm playing a defensive player, my mind is going to this uncharted territory where I'm thinking, I have to do something else, I have to do something different that I'm not used to either shorten the points or change up the rhythm so I can have a chance of winning the match. And then I watch all these YouTube videos. They will have fantastic ideas on how you can beat a pusher. They say, oh, you should develop a short slice to bring them to the net, or you can come to the net more often yourself. And so my current understanding is that I can slice. I'm not developing that short slice in a short amount of time, so it's better if I just sneak up to the net more often, right? So I try to practice my transition sequence where I hit a short ball, approach shot, and then I just I don't return to the baseline. I approach the net. I try to hit a volley, overhead, whatever, and then I realize my net game is shit. I can't put away a volley so easily, and my overhead is it left a lot to be desired. So in these highlights, it's common for you to see that I hit a mediocre approach shot, and then I insist to come to the net, hit 1, 2, 3 floaty volleys. The opponent is not bothered by it at all, and then they just lob me or pass me when I'm at the net. It's not a pleasant experience running backwards towards the camera and back fence, you know? It's too much running, and I'm worried that it's too much wear and tear on my meniscus. All windings aside, I actually have a lot of respect for Terence's game. The opponent I'm playing here, he's permanent fixture in the CETA ladder top 10. I can spike up to the top 10 ranking, but I can't defend it, but he does. He does it so easily. I think he's the strongest of all the 3 opponents I included in this video. Previously I mentioned Terence could be a candidate for Singapore's MEP, the most exhausting players. That's how I felt, and apparently people have cited injury after playing him. Last time we played, it was 6-3, 6-1. He beat me, and this time it's 6-2, 6-3. I'm just so very proud of myself for even winning one more game of Terence, and somehow the second set I played a little better than the first set. Himself described his game as a cat and mouse game, which means that he emphasized on placement, movement, or certain combos that move the opponent around and or trying to juke them. I know that the second match has already started, which means conceptually I have desynced the audio with the video, like the Hong Kong Kung Fu movies from the 90s. 30 years have passed. Why are people still making videos with audio added afterwards? Why can't you just wear a mic and do some live commentary and sound sampling? Why can't you just be normal? Anyway, the opponent I'm playing here, Yifan, I played quite a bit before. Very seldomly I take sets off him, but I never won like a BO3 format. And he has quite a reputation among people who played him before that he would put every ball back, has incredible athleticism, a marathon runner, and early bird. He's got quite a strong defensive game and probably one of the best movers on court I've played with, but I would say he's more of a counter puncher because he would attack on his forehand and he's not too shabby at finishing points at the net either. Whenever I'm playing Yifan, I notice the time between points also has an effect on my game. For example, whenever I'm running to the net, play a dinky approach shot, get lobbed, and running backwards, I'm out of breath. But he's alright, he runs marathons, right? So this 2-hour tennis is barely an appetizer in his whole cardio training routine. If it's my service game, I try to take a conscious pause between points. I tap the ball a few times more, try to breathe in, breathe out a few times before I serve. But whenever it's his service game, he would just toss and serve within seconds, and I'm on the other side, panting, trying to catch a breath. Sweat is gathering on my eyelashes, pooling in my eyes. I can't see, I can't focus. I can devise and execute a plan to break my opponent's service game. Physicality or raw athleticism is such a big part in all sports. It's easy to say, oh, my opponent played well today, serving well, return well. or it's easy to admit that my opponent is some kind of junior player, started to play tennis since they're young, so they got thousands and thousands more reps in more than I do. But it's very, very difficult to just say, oh, my opponent outrun me, and they're just fitter, therefore happier, more productive, comfortable, not drinking too much, regular exercise at the gym 3 days a week, more at ease, eating well, no more micro food dinners and saturated fat, sleeping well, no paranoia on the tennis court at least. It's very obvious that's an aspect I can improve for my game. If I reduce my BMI by 1 point and tip it over from overweight to normal range, I play better tennis. If I increase my VO2 max, I play better tennis. If I can do a full front or side splits, I play better tennis. If I have better ankle mobility, I play better tennis. But that's all very boring to talk about. It's part of the tennis training, but it's not a very visible part of the game. Stamina, reaction time, and flexibility, they're all possible to improve with training. Like you see the pros on their off day, whenever they're not on court, they're doing either some kind of strength training, conditioning, or flexibility exercise. They're all going to help bigly with my tennis game and even longevity. But the contradiction is, I wouldn't be playing tennis if I enjoy structured, regimented exercises. Like, running, swimming is too monotonous. Outdoor cycling is a great commute, but if I have to go from point A to B and then A again, I can't convince myself to do it. And indoor cycling is too rowdy. Yoga or golf is low intensity, and snowboarding or surfing is either time or site specific. So as you can see, as someone who's looking for a good workout and a venue to express his neuroticism, tennis is the perfect sport. It's high impact, it hurts my joints, muscle, and bones, everything on the right side of my body. And I can bitch, moan, and whine as much as I want after each point I lost. And that's considered the norm, even at the highest level of competition. I dream about playing a 5-set finals on the center court of All England Lawn Tennis Club, yelling at my box, staring down any member of the audience who dares to cheer in a sports event, or smack my racket on the wooden net post and permanently damage the permanent fixture. That all sounds like a good time. But if all 3 of my physical therapists recommend me to do single leg squat and stretch my gluteus medius on a daily basis, then I'm not interested. Dedicate my long-term attention span and focus on the fundamentals in year 2023? Come on, what am I kidding here? This last match I played a while ago, so I don't remember much from it. I do remember this is when I realized I can't deal with slices. My opponent really has a good slice. The way he flew through air, bounce, it threw me off my rhythm, and I produced a lot of weak replies as a result of that. It's fresh to see you can build an entire effective game around a good slice. It does defense, offense, everything. Okay, that's all I have to say. That's everything I have to rant about for the month.
you? Come on!